Hi, my name is Miriam Halami, and today I'm going to read you chapter 1 of my young adult novel, Behind Closed Doors. The book is in two voices, Josie Tate and Tasha Brown, and chapter 1 is in Josie's voice. Until I was 10 years old, I thought everyone had Christmas in the bedroom. Shrieks all down the bus queue. Oh God! I pull my earphones out. I've done it again, spoken out loud when I'm listening to music, but everyone's been talking about Christmas, and it's only the first week in October. They're doing my head in. The bedroom, says Tasha Brown, not looking up from her phone. Like, how crazy weird is that? I duck my head and look round for the bus as I flush right down my neck. Sounds cool, says Dom with his kind smile. My little brothers would kill to have a tree in the bedroom. He's Tasha's friend. Sweet little Dom, she calls him, which is a bit patronising. Yeah, right, says Tasha in a bored voice. They can electrocute themselves on the fairy lights. Very cool. She still doesn't look up from her phone. Tasha manages to look like a goth, even in uniform. It's the black tights with laced boots and short skirt. I'm sure she dyes her hair black, which makes her skin look really pale. Mine's more blotchy, and I blush in a nanosecond. My uniform's recycled. Mum's a collector, and she's saving the planet. We're having Christmas in Spain this year, says someone, and the chatter turns to high-top bikinis. I put my earphones back in and try to look as though I'm listening to music, but I can still hear Tasha's bored voice. The only good thing about Christmas is the cash. She's not even looking at her sweet little Dom, but he grins and nods, his head bobbing up and down like an eager puppy. They're a strange pair, but I still wish I was part of the crowd instead of being out on the edge all the time. But what do you expect, Josie Tate, when you say stuff like having Christmas in the bedroom? And I feel myself shudder again. I hate everyone knowing our private business. The bus to the swimming pool arrives and I make my escape. Everyone else takes the other bus to the shops. I'm so desperate for a shower. No hot water in the PE block all week, and I haven't washed my hair since Monday. They built the new pool 2 years ago, miles away on the edge of town, and the showers are exactly the kind I want in my own flat one day. High pressure, constant hot water. By the time I've showered and dressed, it's so late, I don't even dry my hair. It's more frizzy when it's wet and a sort of muddy brown hanging all around my shoulders. Mum trims my fringe. We never go to hairdressers. They're busybodies, says Mum, like everyone else. My business is none of theirs. Her hair's the same colour as mine, but straighter, and we both have green eyes. Mum's a bit shorter than me now, and she's quite thin with a sort of pointy face. My face is fuller, and we both have pale skin that doesn't see much sunlight. Mum calls us indoors people. We never tan or anything. I glance in the mirror now, but there's no time even to pull a brush through. I push all my stuff into my pack and hurry out into the corridor. My hair's dripping in my eyes, and I bump into somebody. My pack spills all over the floor, and I drop down on my knees, grabbing my pants, the polka dot ones. Can today get any more embarrassing? Here, let me help. Looking up, I see a boy bending down, tan skin, very long arms, and he's naked. Cover up, I hiss, but I don't think he heard me. What if he saw my pants? Why would he care? He's not wearing anything. I'm trying to push my hair out of my eyes and repack my stuff, and when I look up, the boy's straightened and he's wearing a pair of black Speedos. Relief whooshes through me. Your toothpaste, he says, holding it out in his right hand. He's so tall. Must be at least 6 foot, but lean, with such long legs and arms. His nails are perfectly scrubbed, white half-moons gleaming against golden skin, and he has these amazing eyes. Japanese? Chinese? Thanks, I say, getting up and taking the squash tube. I push it into my pack. A noise starts up at the end of the corridor. A couple of girls are coming towards us, long, slender bodies in black costumes and torpedoes emblazoned in silver over their hips. Coming, says one of the girls, a blonde ponytail swinging over her shoulder. Not right now, Chantal, says the boy, And for some reason, I feel another little hot rod of relief. Chantal shrugs and walks on with her friends. The boy turns back to me and says, I was going to the canteen before my next swim. You want a coffee? I can't, I say. I'm late. Oh. There's something familiar about the way his mouth settles in a line. Relief? I look at the long, thin line of his eyes. They've retreated into the sockets, almost disappearing. He stares down the corridor after the others with a sort of longing look and gives a slight shake of his head. And then I realise he's lonely, like me. That wasn't relief on his face. I almost decide to skip my paper round. Only Friday's payday and I need the money. I'm a working girl, I say with a grin. Oh, sure, he says, his arms hanging loose at his side. We stand there for a minute in silence, and I'm about to go when he says, maybe we could have a swim sometime. I'm here every morning. I open my mouth to tell him I can't swim, and I don't even own a costume, and then I shut it again. Every morning, I say? Sure. How about tomorrow? Sure. His body shifts slightly as if he's pleased, and I walk off, a grin spreading across my face. All the way back on the bus, I try out the word sure in my mouth. The boy has an American accent, and sure is an American word, isn't it? It's such a strong, confident word, so much better than okay, or all right, or maybe, or any of the other things he might have said. My paper round flies by as I call out sure to customers on their doorsteps, and by 6:30 I'm finished and I take my pay packet to Terry's Cafe. My routine's always the same: a mug of tea, check my pay and split it into 3 piles: expenses, school stuff, savings. I'm saving for my own flat. That'd show Tasha Brown, I think, scooping the money up. I want a studio, 1 bedroom, a kitchen, living room and a bathroom. I need £500 for a deposit to rent. I've saved £35.50, so it's a long-term plan. Next week, I've got an extra morning paper round for a bit, so that should help to boost my savings. I want my own electric shower and my own toilet. As I walk home, I start wondering which school Swimboy goes to. He's older than me, maybe 18. He could be at college. How can someone so gorgeous and with such a lovely, deep American voice and Chinese eyes possibly be lonely? He must have hundreds of friends and loads of girlfriends. That Chantal looked like a model. He's not lonely. You're mad, Josie Tate, I tell myself as I turn into my street. A couple are lingering right outside our front door. We don't have a front garden, and we never open the door when anyone's around. Now I'll have to wait until they move on. I look at my watch and walk past glaring at them, but they don't seem to notice. The woman calls out, pick me up by 9. Fine. The man grabs her again for a totally long kiss. They're practically leaning against our front door. Finally, they walk off in the opposite direction. I take out my key, turn it in the lock, squeeze through the tiny space and kick the door shut behind me. Mom! Up here. I turn sideways and shuffle down the narrow space in the hall, taking care not to tip the boxes at the far end, which loom towards me like badly stacked bricks. And when I get to the stairs, they've almost disappeared since this morning. What's happened? I call out. Just sorting. Mind the stairs. What do you think I'm doing? I mutter as I haul myself over the first 2 steps and clamber to the top floor. The landing stacked to the ceiling with newspapers, boxes, piles of clothes, plastic cans and bottles. Plastic bottles and cans. The bathroom doors jammed permanently open, the bath full to the brim with more stuff, and so many sacks and boxes on the floor that half the wash basin's covered. You have to put your feet on a bulging black sack to sit on the toilet. So nothing's changed up here, I tell myself with relief. I put my head round Mum's door. Sorting what? Socks and plastic bottles. Mum's sitting cross-legged on the bed, piles of socks and squash bottles over the half of the duvet, which isn't piled with bags. She was made redundant from her office job months ago and wants to work in a recycling centre, but nothing has come up. My redundancy money will last ages, Josie, so don't worry, she keeps telling me. She helps out in charity shops Monday to Thursday and doesn't really bother to get dressed on Fridays, just lounges around in baggy tracksuit bottoms and the same sweatshirt. I glare at her. We need the stairs, Mum. It's basic. Stop fussy and decide which of these go to charity and which we should keep. I look down at the heap. You decide, I say in a weary voice, and go on down the landing to my bedroom. I push the door. Usually it swings open, but today it won't go more than a few centimetres. What the, Mum? I can't open my bedroom door. Mum doesn't answer. I get a horrible sinking feeling as I push into my room. No way! I can't believe it. Piles and piles of sacks have appeared in my room while I've been out at school and on my paper round, and my desk is completely covered. My English coursework, I scream out, trying to push things off the desk, but there's just no room anywhere. Even the window's covered with a stack of boxes reaching to the ceiling. A huge pool of anger wells up through me as I go back down to Mum's room and roar, "What have you done? Don't you care about anyone but yourself?" "The planet," she starts, and I let out a high-pitched scream. She stares at me, her eyes wide open. "I'm sick of the planet. I hope it blows to 1,000,000 pieces and your collection with Josie." What a terrible thing to say. I can't believe. Well, you'd better believe it. Mum sits there, her mouth shaped in a great big O. I can't stand it. I turn and suddenly I'm picking up boxes, bags, piles of newspapers, anything I can grab, and I'm chucking them at each other. Stop that right now. But I can't stop. A wall of sacks and boxes comes rolling towards me like a giant wave. Something sharp tears into my forehead. I grab what feels like a picture frame. It's got vicious corners, and that's blood on my face. I turn the frame over, and there's a picture of a pretty cottage in a garden full of flowers, and along the bottom, in bright yellow flowers, is written, "There's no place like home." It's about time I moved out, and with all the force I could muster, I throw the picture over the pile of boxes. "You nasty girl!" Mum looms over me. "Me? Your collection's trying to kill me." "Oh, stop fussing and get yourself up. That cut needs a plaster." And she turns away, piling up the boxes again in an even more dangerous pile. I'm out of here. I get up, squeeze down the hallway and out the front door. The thought of Swimboy, with his golden skin and immaculate nails, seeing me now, makes me want to die of shame. I stagger down the street, almost blinded by tears and blood, and all I can think is, there's definitely no place like my home. That's the end of chapter 1. And if you want to know how things develop for Josie and later on Tasha, then I do hope that you will read on and enjoy the book. Bye for now.